hack that is going viral over on TikTok? If not, stay tuned because that's what we're discussing. I'm giving my 2 cents about it. But if you're new here, welcome. I'm Claudia and I'm the proud owner of Pink's Tees and Things. But on these social media streets, they call me the queen of direct-to-film printing. So if that sounds like something that would add value to you and your business, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button and let's get into it. Hey TikTok, hey Instagram, how are you guys doing? Welcome everyone. So I want to talk about this sublimation hack that's going on over on TikTok. Donna, is this day 4 in a row? No way. Hey Donna, how are you? Hey Candice. Hello. JDiva82, how are you doing? Hey Wendy over on TikTok, welcome. Lord, listen, I'm giving my 2 cents. I want to talk about it because it's one of the things that for me, I thought it was day 4. I thought so. So first of all, before we get into it though, welcome to day 45 of my 100 days of live. That's where I'm challenging myself to go live every day. Okay, maybe not Saturday and Sunday as much, but Monday through Friday when the shop is open, I'll be here. Hey Dragonfly Love Creations, how are you? I'm doing very well, thank you. Hey, gotta have shirts, excuse me, welcome. So I want to talk about this and give my 2 cents because I think as much as I talk about how much I love social media, thank you for the follow, Anna. As much as I love social media, there are just moments where these are the cringy moments, right? Hey t-shirt chick, how are you? So these are the moments for me where I kind of feel like it's a double-edged sword. So, and here's why. Over on TikTok, it is going crazy in the sublimation streets, okay? And I'm talking about a sublimation hack where they're using pet film to actually, print using their sublimation printer, applying adhesive powder, which we typically use even with direct to film, okay? So it's not something that I'm unfamiliar with, and they cure in that manner, and then they're able to apply their sublimation print, right, to different colored garments, mainly light color garments though. But here's the issue. As much as I love the fact that, listen, there's more than one way to skin a cat. I'm totally aware of that, right? This is where social media sometimes can kind of lead you a little bit astray, okay? Because regardless of the fact that there's multiple ways to do things, hey, I love it, Customs. Although there's multiple ways of doing things, I still think that regardless, with each print method, there are just some principles. There's some foundation that you have to have. And so I kind of get a little nervous about putting out things such as that just out there, right? Because who knows who's actually absorbing this information. And my biggest thing is how many people are actually going to research and make sure that this actually works in the manner that they want it to work and that they're doing it safely. I'm not so sure because, right? And so that's kind of my issue with it. I'm not saying you can't do it. Hey, Danielle, I'm not saying that it's something that can't be done. I definitely get where they're going with it. They want to be able to apply those multicolored prints to, let's say, a white 100% cotton shirt. Totally get that. I completely get it. Hey, how are you? I completely get it. Thank you for the follow. But there's just a few things that I want to talk about. And that is number 1, right? I get it. The pet film, the adhesive powder. We've all talked about it. Those of us that are in DTF, and this is what we do, right? We've talked about the fumes and the need to be in a properly ventilated space. That's nothing new. We've all talked about that. But that's still something that applies even when you're using it in your home. And the excuse of being a home crafter is not acceptable in my opinion, because whether it's in your home or if you're in a commercial space, you want to make sure that you're being as safe as possible. This is really one of those things that I often grapple with when I'm sharing my processes, is because I don't want to give you the impression that this is the only way to do it. No, I want you to do your research and make sure, hey Clover Medic, and make sure that it's something that, number one, you understand the principles of whatever print method you're using, right? And so when it comes to that adhesive powder, I've already expressed to you, you have to be in a well ventilated area. So the excuse of I'm a home crafter and I only do 1 or 2 shirts, that's not good enough for me. So no, if you're only gonna do 1 or 2 shirts, maybe you can get away with it, right? Because you're like, listen, it's only 1 or 2, who cares? But here's the issue. The issue that I have with it is when that one home crafter decides I'm going to make 50 of these shirts and then realizes I can continue to sell these. Well, they still don't have that foundation. So now they're running on this principle of I'm able to offer this new way of, sublimating on lighter colored fabrics, but now they've taken it to the extreme. And so I feel like, sometimes you really have to get in there when you're describing a new method of doing something. You really have to do your research. So for me, in my opinion, I feel like the onus is really on us. Of course, we can watch whatever we want on social media, right? That's why I love watching your videos, professional and care about quality. I do. I care a lot about it. And it's one of the reasons why I grapple with sharing a lot of my processes, because I don't want to just make you feel as if this is the only way you can do it. No, it's not. But do your research. And so I just ask that, and I hope that whoever happens to view this video, that they actually take some time to really verify the information and verify the process for curing and things of that nature. So that's one of my biggest concerns, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. So it's not good enough to say I'm a home crafter. So that's not a good enough excuse. No one is trying to make anyone feel fearful, right? I even saw a video where this woman said, remember this information. Yes, we are, Amber. This information about, talking about the fact that you need ventilation and the whole, making sure you're safely curing thing is being presented by actual people such as myself that have, these large format printers, and they're the ones that are printing the transfers all day. And I'm like, so that to me should then be a red flag, that if we're the ones that are printing the transfers and we're running our DTF printers day in and day out, why would you not value the information that we're sharing? No one's afraid of us losing business over this viral hack. Hey, Tanita, how are you? That's not the fear. Our fear is information being put out there and the safety precautions not really being discussed. So no one's saying, be fearful of this, stay away, don't do it. We're saying, do it safely. Not I'm a tap to 10,000. Oh, he said, I love that. I love it. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. If you're just entering as I'm talking about this new sublimation hack that is going viral over on TikTok. No, I did not start with an Epson Eco Tank. I have both a Sawgrass and also a converted Epson Workforce printer for sublimation. So thank you guys so much for tapping. I will help tap to 10,000. I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. But that's what I wanted to talk about. Oftentimes, there's so much information out there on the internet, and my hopes is that I know a lot of you that come into these lives, you guys already understand it. We've talked about it. You've heard it. You either work in the DTF space, or you know what I mean, or you just heard it and you've done some research. You said, wait, listen, can I actually cure these transfers without ensuring proper ventilation and making sure that I have a fume extractor if I'm doing large quantities of them left and right? You know what I'm saying? And so that is my biggest issue. Hey, Best Uni, how are you? That's one of my biggest issues when it comes to social media and us coming to social media. And it's one of the things that I really grapple with. Hey, everyone that's just entering, Nacho Tacos, hello. Hey, Simi. Red Barn, thank you guys. Oh, TikTok is showing out with the hearts. Okay, TikTok, I see you. So yeah, so I'm not saying that you can't do it, but I do have another point that I'd like to bring up. It's only really good for light colored fabrics. So then my whole question becomes, where did the need come from? Because there are things like easy subli that are available out there, right? We've seen people sublimate on glitter, myself included, right? Hey Tori, how are you? Golden Butterfly, welcome. Hey Christina, right? We've seen that. I get it. I completely get it, okay? But there are other methods to do it. And so I don't really know where the need came from. I'm not sure, but I kind of wanted to talk about it because I'm just hoping that maybe if we just reach one person that didn't know this, and maybe they've seen this viral hack, but they didn't hear about the safety precautions. And it's not to scare anyone. It's just to say, be safe. Be safe when you're doing it. That's the same question I had when I saw the video. You know, it was one of the very first questions, and I've kind of, you know, to be honest, people have a right to do what they want to do, right? And so I'm trying to be respectful of that, but at the same time, I just want to make sure that I do my part, right, to lead with the research that I've done. It's like evidence-based practice. Like if you have a rationale for why you do what you do in your business that's based on whether research that you've done, hey FJB, thank you for the roses, research that you've done, information that you've received from a manufacturer, things of that nature, if that is what you're using to guide your practice, right, then you have a rationale to explain it. But if you're telling people, don't worry, you'll be okay, don't let these people scare you, that's kind of when I have a problem, because that's a very big no-no. Like, I don't care if it's just a manufacturer warning, there's a warning for a reason. And so I just ask that you always, even when you're listening to me, listen to what I'm saying, but take that information and go verify it. I'm okay with that. I would prefer that you do it that way. Red Barn Creations, doesn't the adhesive powder make it so the light garment can be dark? So the adhesive powder is only, what it is it's just your method of actually, it's like the glue that you need to actually be able to apply that transfer to whatever you're applying it to. Like, I don't know if you guys see this stack behind me. I'm gathering all of my materials because I want to show you guys and kind of run an experiment with DTF and what can you actually attach it to, right? But I wanted to talk about this because I was like, I saw a video today that someone sent me and I was just like, I don't know that you can give someone false reassurance, like you're gonna be okay, don't worry about it. That's kind of scary to me. I don't know. Clear vinyl, that's another option. That's the thing. I'm like, there are a lot of other alternatives. So I'm not really sure what led to the film and the DTF adhesive. I'm not really sure where it originated from, because I feel like there's some methods out there that already solve that problem. But I still had to speak about it because there's a lot of information floating around. Thank you for the roses. What is the viral hack you're talking about? I just came on. No problem, Michelle. So I kind of showed, I have one video where I actually did a duet with it, or a stitch. So it's like a side-by-side comparison, but it's the sublimation hack where you're able to actually print on direct-to-film film and apply the adhesive powder. There's no white ink, none whatsoever. And so I don't know how I feel about it. You still can't sublimate on those dark garments. To answer the question that was asked earlier regarding the adhesive being able to then make it able to attach to dark garments, so the light garment can be dark. No, it's not the adhesive powder. For DTF, it's actually that white coat. So typically on our printers, first the printer will throw down the color right onto the film. So it'll print color, and then over that color we get white, and you're able to play with those percentages of white depending on like what color garment you're placing it on, what colors are actually in the image. So if you know that this is a brighter image, okay, and you want to make sure that it stays bright, you have to kind of play around with those percentages of white. So if you have a darker image and it's going on a dark shirt, you want to make sure that you kind of increase that white as much as you can, right? So that when you press it on the garment, it still has that same vibrance. Those are the things that I'm talking about. And so it takes you understanding direct to film to understand like why this is probably not the best method, because it's not really solving the overall problem of wanting to be able to sublimate on both light color and dark colored fabrics. Hey Lex Creations, how are you? Thank you for the roses. I appreciate you guys. Let's see here. Oh my gosh, we're already at 10K. This hack is so scary. I was in shock when I saw it. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not so much, I don't really have a problem with the fact that they're trying other methods to get those multicolored prints on these cotton shirts, right? So now they're kind of trying to solve this problem of getting multicolored prints on shirts, but it's really only the lights. But anyway, I don't really have a problem with that. I think where I started to see the problem was like, you know, the fact that they're curing the sheets underneath the heat press. It's like, okay, so you got to make sure that you have good ventilation. Okay, so well ventilated space. Okay, don't stand directly over the heat press. It's just like sublimation. Don't stand directly over the heat press. But I had some concerns safety-wise, because I understand, yes, some people may only use it once, but there are some out there that may actually decide that this is the new method they're going to offer in their t-shirt shop. And that's where it gets scary. That's honestly where it gets scary. But I completely understand it. 10K, let's get to 15. Yes, thank you. Imperfect Crafting Nana, how are you? I'm bopping your nose, sending love. I love that. I love that. Thank you guys so much for the likes. So at any rate, I wanted to come in. Shipping is $20. For what? What are you trying to ship? Let's see here. I am T. Nicole. Hello, how are you? Pine Street, CT. Give me some more information. What are you trying to ship? Thank you for the likes. Hey, JM Creation, how are you? Applying Pressure Customs. Hello, hello. Let's see. So let me know in the comments, what are you trying to actually ship? Mom of Steel. Okay. Oh, so you're driving from St. Louis to Dallas? Wow. Are you going to visit? Where are you going? I want to know. Mom of Steel, thank you so much for the likes. So that was one of the things that I wanted to come in and I wanted to talk about, because it definitely was something that I felt like I at least needed to give my 2 cents on. And I, you know, listen, we just got our 1430 running. Any recommendations for good colors? The biggest thing is you want to work with your printer. So I don't know what ink, what ICC profile your ink actually, you know, what, I don't know. So it's hard for me to give you my settings, because number one, we have 2 different machines. But what I would say is make sure that you have your ICC profile set up correctly according to the ink that you're running in your printer. So that would be my first recommendation. And then in addition to that, I would say play around with some of the images, because that's kind of how we found our percentages. It wasn't like a set number. Like, of course, when we first receive our very first DTF printer, there are recommendations of percentages, but the more we used it, the more we kind of tailored what we wanted those percentages to be. So that's the best piece of advice I can give you. Let's see here. I'm from Fort Worth, been in St. Louis 10 years. Okay, hold on. I missed your other, not for a good reason, but I'll see lots of family. That's a good thing. That's still a good thing, but have a very safe trip. Yes, yes, yes. That's still a good thing, just to get away. I totally understand that. it never is. Every image will be different. That's kind of what I'm always trying to kind of reiterate. And I don't want you to think that it's not that I don't want to share. It's that you really have to get accustomed to what your print settings are. That's the biggest thing. Mama still said, I have a Sawgrass 1000 and I tried to press a shirt and it was too light. What color was the shirt? Yes, right, JM Creation. Hey, Royal, how are you? Hey, She Renee Collection. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining. And happy Friday, everyone. I didn't get to say that actually is when I first started. I just came in hot. But white shirt. Okay. And your image. So let's see. What was one of the questions I was going to ask you about your image for sublimation? It just to be clear, it's not like a watercolor. They're not like watercolor images because sometimes those can come in a little bit softer. Thank you for sharing the live, Sandy. I appreciate that. Hey, Royal Designs, how are you? No, that's interesting. And so let's see. Because you have to use the Sawgrass software. So I'm going to be honest. That's one of the reasons why I love my Epson that I converted for sublimation. I remember having to kind of play with even the quality of the print. So you know how you can go in and it'll say like normal, best, as far as like the actual print colors or print quality. I would have to sometimes play around with those even to get my colors, you know, to look exactly the way I wanted them to look. But once I had switched over to Epson, I really, honestly, I just run my Sawgrass just to keep it running. But that was an issue that I ran into. But have you tried adjusting that, like the where it says like normal? You can go into like your print settings before you print the actual image, and it gives you the option to choose like best, or how long are you actually pressing it for? What's the recommendation of the paper? There's so many questions that are flying in my head right now, but those are a few of them. Good, thanks for sharing your hacks. So this is not my hack. So first of all, it's not my hack. It's not my hack. But I do, whenever I do share them, you know, like I did in my video, my live, I showed you guys how I press my shirts, the correct way to do it, right? And then I showed you also some of the shortcuts that I take in the process. So yeah, but this sublimation hack is not mine. It is most definitely a TikTok thing. No, but I will. Yeah, check that out. Also make sure that you're pressing with the correct pressure and for the right amount of time according to the paper that you're using. So yeah, all of those things can actually, but that I did encounter some of that when I was using my Sawgrass, and I think once I got the Epson and I realized, okay, there's a better way. There's a better way. But Sawgrass isn't amazing. I love their design capabilities, so the fact you can go in there and do your little mock-ups and all that good stuff. I love that. But I wasn't the biggest fan, so I had to check what my press temp actually was. Yes, that is one of those things. It's almost like even when you're sublimating tumblers, if you sublimate them for too long, they actually start to lose color. And so it's like it's a process of elimination. Like, okay, first, is it a watercolor, right? Then, is it my pressure? Do I have the right temperature? Am I pressing for the right amount of time? And those recommendations typically come with the paper that you purchase. So you have to kind of run through the gamut. I don't think I pressed it long enough. Okay. Type of material. So what type of material? Found out mine runs 20 degrees hotter. Trial and error. It definitely is trial and error. It definitely is important. I have a little infrared thermometer, which hopefully my husband isn't on this live because I took it out of his barbecue supplies. But the point is, don't worry about that. Let's move on. Okay. The point is you can use that thermometer to check the actual temperature of your heat press, and you'd be surprised. Even sometimes, like I've had it on the older of the newest two, the Heat Press Nation one. It was at one point I was I could find like places, like little colder spots that were like significantly lower. And so I had to kind of play around with it to figure out what was going on. And I realized some of my wires were not connected also as securely. So little things like that. But I love that little infrared. Hey, Mama Key, how are you? I love that little infrared there. Okay, are we at 15K? I love that. Let's see here. Now, what kind of Epson do you have? One in a milli. Hey, Lovely Crafts by Yuri. Live, travel, love. Hello, how are you? I can't even believe it. Not 15K. I can't take it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, okay, so I have the 7710 as well. And I've had it for probably 2018, maybe the end of 17. I'd have to go look at my Amazon because I purchased it from Amazon. But I feel like they're the most resilient printers ever. I really feel like that. But how recently did the magenta ink stop running? And do you do normal cleanings on it? Thank you guys. I see you guys tapping that screen. Hey, A&F, how are you? Oh my gosh, thank you so much for the likes. I appreciate it. So I wanted to come on. I just wanted to talk about that because I said, listen, I can't talk about it. You know how I am. I'm not going to just talk about it in the privacy of my own walls. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it here on live. I just received my sublimation ink today. So excited to begin this journey. You definitely should be. Sublimation has a lot of applications. The t-shirts are maybe not my favorite, but like looking at these bleaching methods and things like that that you can kind of do to make the t-shirts work, I think they're pretty cool. It just wasn't for me. Me and bleach, we're not friends. And so bleach and I, we aren't friends, okay? And so I tend to kind of stay away from it. I tried it at one point. It was too much for me, but there's a lot of other applications that I really think are amazing when it comes to sublimation. So congratulations on the new machine. And don't forget, everything is content. Everything is content. So film as you're learning how to use your new machine. But congratulations. Let's see here. What sublimation printer would anyone recommend? So I have older printers, so I don't know if I'm the best recommendation, but I have converted a converted Epson. I almost said 7890. That's not my sublimation. 7710 Workforce 7710. Absolutely love it. I have the Sawgrass, but it's the SG400 now. They're up to 1,000. So just so you know, they are older. But I happen to really love Epsons. I was listening to someone recently, and I said I kind of want to take a deep dive in it because there's also like wide format printers as well, and you can actually convert some of the wide format Epsons to sublimation. Also, I don't know. But anyway, I've been slowly doing my research on that, and it seems like, if I'm not mistaken, it's pretty similar, well, on the wide formats. It's similar to converting a wide format DTF printer. Almost positive of that. But some of the eco tanks, it was interesting. I was listening, that's where I was going with this. I was listening to someone on live, and they were kind of discussing some of the differences. Like, I didn't know that some of the printers were only rear feed for your paper. They didn't actually have like trays, and I had never even paid attention to that. So it's amazing what you'll learn as you're kind of out there. Content, yes, that's right, Imperfect Crafting Data. Everything is content. One in a milli. So I accidentally mixed the ink when refilling and had to buy a new cartridge. Whoa, so just a few days. Oh my, really? I'm learning now that everything is content. Listen, my husband, I don't know if you guys saw that video that I posted. We were rearranging this room actually, and I had just left for like a few seconds to go get the phone holder that I use to film my content. And so one of them, so at any rate, I just left to do that, and I came back and he had already moved so much. Heavens, yes, Crafts. Hey, how are you? Happy Friday. And I was just like, what are you doing? You moved everything. I want have the before and after shot and everything. And he was just like, oh, I forgot. But it really is true. Everything is content. And I know it probably drives my husband up the wall when I'm like, did you film that? But you can see his face in that video. He was like, I forgot. Because it's so easy just to kind of get going in your normal regular routine and you're not even thinking. Plus it was like midnight, so you know, I cut him some slack on that one. Sawgrass ink is very expensive. It was expensive, but to be honest with you, I didn't have to replace it very often, especially when I was like really doing sublimation a lot. Before I got the workforce, I didn't have to replace it very often. And even with the workforce, I feel like that was another thing. I also had the capability of printing up to a 13 by 19 with that Epson workforce. I can't wait to order from you. Oh, hey, Biscuit Mama, how are you? My previous supplier constantly leaves streaks. Streaks in your prints? In your transfer prints? Oh, wow. I get anxious about buying the Sawgrass ink. That's why I don't use it as much. It is expensive though, it is. Do you recommend screen print or heat transfer sheets? Okay, so when you say heat transfer, are you talking about printable vinyl, Mama Key? I got sidetracked and not paying attention. Oh my goodness. Oh no, oh no. But give me a little bit more information, Mama Key. If you don't use a Sawgrass printer, it is a waste of ink because the printer has to stay on and it runs the ink to keep the line clear. Yep, absolutely. Mine's is plugged up. Oh wow, that's interesting. Hey Marissa, happy Friday. So streaks in the actual transfers? I wonder where that comes from though. Did you ask them like, hey, what's going on with these streaks? What's going on? So turnaround time currently on my ready-mades is 1 to 3 business days. For customs, 5 to 7 business days. Yeah, send me a DM because I like to talk to you. Because I'm like, that's really, it could be like one of those things where like if there's something caught underneath the print head, maybe, possibly, but I don't know. That's really interesting. Yes, and she replaced them, but still on my replacement. Wow. Yeah, send me a message. Send me a message. Because I have a lot of questions now. Let's see. I have a heat press machine and not sure what's the best type of sheets to use for shirts. So I don't know that I necessarily, hey KLM Creations, hey girl, hey. I love your videos actually, but thank you. I appreciate that. So one of the things I'm going to tell you is I don't really give a lot of this is the best thing ever, right? It really depends on what you're doing. So I've been through it all. I've used the vinyl, I've layered vinyl, I've used sublimation, right? Until people said leave, I could do without the polyester shirts. Yeah, so I've used sublimation, I've done screen print transfers, I've used, what else? I've used printable vinyl as well. It really just depends on what you're trying to print. What do your customers like? Are they looking for multicolor prints? Because if they are more so on the single color print side, you're welcome. Especially that wall. First of all, we need to talk about that wall. I am loving it and I feel like I need some dimension in one of these rooms. I love your glitter wall. I love it. But so like if your customers like single color prints, right? I'm definitely going to tell you all day long, screen print transfers or vinyl. Like those are going to be the easiest methods. If your customers love multicolored prints, and let's say it's a shirt that's for a special occasion where maybe they might not be wearing it that frequently, you can definitely get away with some printable vinyl, right? If your customers are okay with polyester, sublimation is going to be your best friend. I'm starting with single color prints. Okay, I would definitely suggest either screen prints for sure. That's a great option. But if you're not doing, let's say if you're just kind of starting out and trying to fill it out, I would start with something as simple as vinyl. That would be my recommendation, unless there's a design that's going crazy right now in your business where you're like, listen, I'm not weeding all of that. then I would suggest screen prints. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, it's a peel and stick wall. Oh, I'm gonna have to look that up. I love it. I love, like, just, I feel like it gives your room so much dimension. I love that. But thank you for sharing. Do you have it linked in your bio? Because I'll go click your link. Love sublimation for tumblers, mugs, and keychains, but recently got into trying DTF. I love the feel. The shirts feel so nice. They do. They really do. But it's not always needed with every application. And so that's one of the things that I'm always going to be transparent with you. I don't want to sell you a single color DTF print. That's me, right? That's not my thing. It's not, for me, it doesn't even make sense because you're going to be paying more for my single color versus just going and, yes, send me the link. Send me the link. Versus just going and getting a screen print transfer. Like, you're going to save so much. Like, it's not just about me making a sale. Like, I want you to be able to really turn a profit. So for me, I am not a big fan of single color DTF transfers for me and my business, right? Could it work? Absolutely. But that's my 2 cents on it. Not waves on swim. Wait a minute. Do you see this? I need to go wash this stuff, okay? Sunflower, I need to go like wash and condition. Let's just talk about it. Lush Creative, I have a question. What's your question? Claudia, I have a question about the finish on a DTF transfer. Okay, what's your question? Hey, nice nurse. Did you put it in that little question box? Because if so, that may have been how I missed it. New here from Texas. Hi, Kai from Texas. How are you? Question. So I'm going to be doing about 200 shirts for a daycare. Now the logo is a different color. Okay. New here from Texas. Okay, I saw you. Hi, Kai. Welcome. I'm Claudia, the proud owner of Pink Tees and Things. Can we order gang sheets of a design? Yes, you can. KLM, I don't know if I missed part of your question. Let me see. We're in Texas. I'm in Houston. Thank you for the follow, Kai. I appreciate that. But it can be done in vinyl. But to save me a headache, I should get your... If you're trying to save yourself the headache, and it's more than, you know, it's a multicolor, I can't tell you what to do. But, you know, if it's a multicolor and you don't want to weed, and especially when you start getting up into the 200s, I get it, right? I get it. I would totally do a transfer for that. Absolutely. Now, if it's 2 colors, you can definitely get away with doing a screen print transfer. They're a little bit more pricey for the screen print transfers when you start adding, the more colors you add. I could definitely say DTF is a great option as well. If you're not doing a polyester, you know, if you're doing a polyester, then of course, you know, sublimation, the best, like the best. It's about 3 colors. Okay, so that's when it starts to creep up in price, but you can definitely do, like I said, you can definitely do DTF. I know as you start to climb in colors, it does get more expensive with screen print, and sometimes it becomes more of a, it's like they're like a multicolor screen print, right? What's my take on eco prints? I'll tell you about that in a second. Okay, I'm going to answer that in a second. But one thing that I do offer, and so as you're kind of looking around, I also offer bulk order pricing. So if you have questions about that, I would definitely listen, Elliot, when it comes to 200, it really does become a really big headache, number one. Number two, you're right. A lot of people are not the biggest fan of vinyl shirts. So completely agree with you, especially when it starts to get into more than one color, because now you're layering and that takes time. So not only do you have to weed both colors, but now you also have to layer. Okay. So keep that in mind. I'm going to answer that question also over on YouTube. I'll get you. Can I order custom screen prints from you? Absolutely. If you send me the image, I can then get you a quote for the custom screen prints. But KLM, either of those, so either you can do the custom screen print or you can do DTF. Eco prints I am not the biggest fan of when it comes to t-shirt applications. And a lot of it has been feedback and even like, I mean, visuals of how they wash and things like that. So I kind of steer clear of that. I do think that there's a place for eco solvent prints, and I think there's definitely a space that they really shine in. So when you're looking at those stickers, when you're looking at just all of the capabilities, the banners and things of that nature that you can do with the eco solvent printer, definitely hands down 100% completely agree that it shines. That's where they shine for sure. But KLM, if you have any other questions, just feel free to message me. Absolutely. But yes, Mari, thank you so much for following. Now, as far as the DTF prints, for me, they feel very smooth. Like it doesn't feel heavy on my shirt. Like prior to years ago when I would go to Heat Press Nation, I love the fact that they had printed shirts using the different print medias that they actually sold in the store. Yeah, message me. Thank you so much for the, okay, not at 20K. Hold on now. Not at 20K. I love it. But it's a smoother, it feels like a smoother, like I call it buttery soft. Okay, now can DTF prints become heavy? Absolutely. That's one of the reasons why I love it, Imperfect Crafting Nana. That's one of the reasons why sometimes when I get emails about images, I typically will say that's probably not the best print for DTF. If it's a super solid, really dark. Now, here's something that I had recently, and we just worked on the artwork to create some breaks because you want it to feel breathable and like you don't have anything really on your shirt. Did someone say 20K? Oh my gosh, you guys are too much. I cannot. So that's my biggest thing about DTF that I happen to like. Have a smooth or a screen print like finish. It's very smooth. I wouldn't say screen print finish. No, I wouldn't say that. No, it's actually smoother. But like I said, that's one of the reasons why I say before you order, if you are placing a custom order, send me an email, shoot me an email with the image so we can go from there. Because this one image that I had was very rectangular actually. It was rectangular, very dark colors, beautiful image though. Thank you, Mama Steel. It was a beautiful image. Oh, not the fireworks. Yes, it was a beautiful image, but it needed, in order to print it DTF, we kind of implemented some breaks in the design. And so one of the first things I'll ask you is, do you need the darker background? Because if not, we can remove the background and then boom, you have a much more breathable print. So yeah. Yep. But that would be my best answer for you, Biscuit Mama, just based off of my experience. Let's do it. Wait a minute. I'd stay if I stay. I can't. We got there. Should we shoot for 30? I can't. You guys are showing off over on TikTok. I can't. But to answer your question, over on YouTube, can you do DTF on mugs, wood, hard surfaces? So stay tuned because I'm gathering my supplies of things that we're gonna test DTF prints on, and so I'll be able to answer that with certainty, not based off of what someone else told me, but with certainty here shortly. So I have mugs here. So we're gonna try mugs. I also have some paper here that we're gonna try. I wanna try and make some canvases, but I have this roll of canvas. And so we're gonna be pressing on actual canvas. Hey David, how are you? I'm going to need to get a message pointer. I love it. Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. Awesome, thanks. You're welcome. But let me see, what were your hard surfaces? So I will tell you the one area that I am not the biggest fan when it comes to like glass, even aluminum. You really don't, they're not gonna adhere, not at all, unless you kind of like roughen up your surface like of aluminum with glass because of the high temperature. I'm not sure how those would do. So I typically stay away from. Received another order. Oh my God, quality is perfect. I love it, David. I can't wait to see your printed shirts now. You have to send me a picture. I can't wait. Hey, Manny Lee, how are you? So I have some canvas. The only thing that I thought I had that I don't have, I thought I had organza bags, but I don't. I have burlap. So I have the burlap bags over here. I have some tulle. I have some satin. I have a tote bag. So we're just gonna be playing with DTF. Yes, David, please send me some pictures. I want to see. Mom of Steel, thank you so much for following. I appreciate that. So stay tuned. I'm not sure. It'll probably be in, let me see, Monday evening or Tuesday morning. I'll make a post though, so that way you can actually tune in. But I want to show just different items and whether or not we can apply DTF to them. So I thought that would be fun. Someone here on the live yesterday asked, and then I think in a live before that asked, and so I've been gathering little things as I can find them because we're gonna play with DTF for a while. So thank you for asking. I appreciate that. I've just started doing bigger prints and have noticed the colors print out darker than what they look like on the computer. Any ideas? So if they print out darker than what they actually look like on the computer, typically it's one of those things where it could be the actual profile for your ink. Sometimes you have to get it like, what is it called? I forgot the process, but there's a process even that I just saw recently. If you message me, I'll send you the actual video, but it could be either your profile, your ICC profile, or sometimes you have to play with, I don't know if you're using AquaRip, Donna, but sometimes you have to play with the brightness and the contrast even. Now I figured out why I couldn't find you. Oh my God. That's why. There you have it. Hey, Felicia, how are you? Hey, let's see. Start Again 89. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Welcome, welcome. Now, where are you from? Now, Felicia, I see Chi-Town, so I know where you're from. But Start Again, where are you from? And thank you so much for following. I sent an email. Okay, I have a few more emails. AquaRip. Okay, yeah, so you can play with the contrast and the brightness over there. It's at the very bottom of which screen? I think I'm sure you've probably seen it. I don't want to tell you the wrong screen, but it's at the very bottom of your color screen. It gives you that option to adjust your brightness and also your contrast. Love that support. Thank you. So I have a few more emails in my inbox that I do need to get to. Yes. Atlanta. Okay, welcome, Atlanta. Yeah, so sometimes, and I don't know why, there are just some images that we have to play around with the brightness and the contrast. I don't know why. And it's really random kind of how it happens. Thank you for the likes, not 22,000. Oh my goodness, I can't. Chicago. Hey, Meeks, how are you? Thank you for joining. So at any rate, I'm gonna hop off because I want to stop by Joann's. Yesterday, I left here a little bit too late and I couldn't go by. Dot gain in some cases, light and image and Photoshop can help compensate. Yes, it definitely can. I have done that as well. Did you hear that? Let's see, Donna. Did you hear that, Donna? Hey, Mimi Blings, how are you? So that's another thing. I have had images that we've had to throw in to Photoshop for whatever reason, but there's some images where I've had to bypass Photoshop and take it directly into AquaRip, and that's actually helped. Yes, I did. Thanks so much. Okay. Hey, Diana, how are you? Happy Friday. D Prime. Hello. Thank you for joining. So yeah, so I want to go by Joann's because I want to get another couple of pieces of fabric for our little testing situation that we're going to be doing over here. But I'm thinking a coffee mug is definitely something else. Maybe I might be able to find a little piece of some sort of organza-esque material. And let's see, silk. I need silk. I thought I had a piece of silk and I don't. I think the goal should be moved to 50K. Okay, so for the next live, when I come on, the goal is going to be 50K. So last night it was 10K and you guys just, you took it and you ran with it over on TikTok. And then I upped it just a little bit today. So I said, okay, 15K is the goal. And once again, you showed out. So you said it, that's what I'm doing. 50K is going to be the goal for our next live. Hey, Cassandra, thank you so much for following. Hendren Homemades, thank you for the likes. I appreciate it. So I want to go there, get that stuff. And I'm thinking, because, okay, so my daughter comes home Sunday evening. Monday, I drop her off at camp. Oh, what fun. I can't even believe it. She's going to be home less than 24 hours. I drop her off at camp, and then I'll be coming back here to the office. So, yes, it's me, Tiffany B. 50K likes last night. My goal was 10K. We well exceeded that. Tonight, my goal was 15K, and we're already at 23.5K. Thank you, Mama Steel. I appreciate it. So tomorrow, I don't know. I'm like, do you guys want me to go live tomorrow? Because if I can find the fabric, we can definitely do it. I just need silk. I need an organza. I just knew I had organza bags, like the little baggies. I just knew I had it, but I didn't. Hey, Sister Lee, how are you? My kids are at camp for 2 weeks, Janice, so you feel my pain. She was at camp for 3 weeks. Like, she would come home on the weekends, but Monday through Friday, she was at camp for 3 weeks. Then she was home a week. Then she left this past Monday. She doesn't come back until Sunday. She's on the East Coast with some of her, with her service organization. Like, can you believe it? Yes, the days go by extremely fast. I can't even believe it. I'm like, what is going on? She's busier than I am, you know? And so she comes back Sunday evening, and I was like, are you sure you want to go to camp that next Monday? And she's like, yeah, I love it. So, I don't know. Okay, gonna give me the 25K. Well, listen, I can already see that it's almost there at 24.2K. I have some, just run over here and get some. You know what, Mama Steel? Oh, no, don't play small ball. We can do that now. I can't. I love it. Okay, Mama Key, my daughter just got back from church camp. Isn't it hilarious? Like, they have their own little, and she loves camp. And so that was one of the biggest things when we sat down and we talked about it. I was like, are you sure you want to do that many weeks during the summer? I mean, you only have a few weeks during the summer before, she enters high school. And she was like, absolutely. So I'm for it. As long as she is enjoying it and she's having a blast. Like, she's just been sending pictures, and honestly, it just, like, me and my husband were talking about it, it just makes us feel so good that she's really enjoying. Like, we were trying to plan, like, a family something, and I think that's going to have to happen, like, later, towards the later part of the year, because when she comes back from her final week of camp, she only has 2 weeks before she goes back to school. And so I'm sure she's going to need some time, right? I love listening to you while I work out. Thank you, Diana. I thought about you, actually. I was looking at scrunchies, and I remember yesterday you were talking about making them. And I was like, I gotta go check you out and see if you're posting them. My daughter just left out for 7 days. Oh my gosh. With her bestie. What is PCB? Oh my gosh, for 7 days. Yeah, it's but you know what? It's so great to be able to, like, give your kids those opportunities, just to, especially if they enjoy it, right? Like, I wouldn't force her to go. Like, she she loves camp, and she's been going for, gosh, I'd say about 3 or 4 years. Her first year, she came back and she was like, oh, I want to do it like the entire summer. And I was like, whoa, hold on, let's get comfortable. Okay, Panama City Beach. okay, got it. Just kidding. Did I ask what was? No, I really didn't know. I really didn't know. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I love it. Not 26K. You guys are doing too much. I stay busy just with grandkids. Okay. I was really just interested when you were sharing the fact that you do quilting and all that cool stuff. So I thought that was fun. But that's amazing. Start again. 7 days. Oh my gosh. My daughter's camp was 7 days on the beach. Oh my gosh. I want to be there. I was like, even looking at this trip that she's on now, it's wonderful. It's like, it's a convention. And so they've had, for those of you that know, Flowetry, one of the members of Flowetry performed, and they had, just different performers come out, and they've had a lot of like service opportunities. So they've, made quilts for March of Dimes, and I think it's such an amazing thing. And so last night we were talking on the phone, and she said, Mom, it's just so cool because like we're really like, her and her sisters, they're actually bonding. And I'm like, oh man, that's so amazing. Like, I love it. I love your life. T-shirt chick, not over on TikTok. Did you move over? I can't with you. How are you? I'm doing well, LK Creations. How are you doing? Happy Friday. Maybe next year. So that was one of the biggest things. She wanted to go to camp a lot sooner, and our thing was like, let's give it a little time. Is it the TikTok video of the girl using DCF process? Yes, it is, Slides Plug. That's what I was talking about. Yes. Elliot said, T-shirt chick. Hello, Sin. I know you don't know me, but I love to listen to you speak too. Yes, listen, you want to talk about like screen printing. I'm talking mega sized heat press. T-shirt chick is who you need to check out. She's on YouTube. She's here on TikTok as well, because I just saw her pop in. She's on TikTok as well, Instagram. I'm talking, she does DTF. She does screen printing. Now she back on YouTube. I can't. But I kid you not, there's so many resources out there, and she is definitely one that I can tell you that heat press, whoo, takes me away every time I've seen it. I'm late to the game, so sublimation hack is a no. I'm not gonna say it's a no. I just checked her out. Awesome. Okay, good. And she also goes live also. She's wonderful. Yes, she is. She really is. Really is. Truly gifted for sure. You tried it out? No. So I thought about it though. I have been thinking about it just to kind of talk about it, right? Because I want people to understand, like, I'm not saying it's a no. That's not what I'm saying. If that's the process that you want to use, that's fine. My biggest thing is just be sure that you understand when it comes to curing these transfers and things of that nature, you just want to do it safely. So my message today was for those that have seen the video and you're curious about trying it. I'm going to say, listen, I'm all for experimentation, but just do it safely. That's it. It's T-shirt chick, David. T-shirt chick. And she's on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. She's all the places. You are amazing. Thank you, Clover. I appreciate that. You guys are amazing. You're welcome, T-shirt chick. You are someone that I definitely love watching you because you inspire me to keep going. Like, I love that, especially when it comes to women in the print industry. I love watching that because it's inspiring to me. I feel like I'm just starting my journey. And so I appreciate you just for sharing what you shared thus far. I love that. So your machine behind you does the curing safely. So these are the printers, okay? But my curing setup is over here. So I have like a fume extractor, I have a pretty large one, but that's because I run this thing all day long. And if I didn't, we were actually talking about that today, if you didn't have that fume extractor, this room would be filled with smoke. Okay. It would just look like the Up and Smoke tour. Okay, anyway. Hey Natural Beauty, how are you? So that's what I'm talking about. In the video, everyone has been curing their transfers on their heat press, which you absolutely can do. But you know what I would probably advise you to do is add a little fume extractor. You know, something that, depending on the volume that you're going to be doing, you want to have something that's going to absorb that vapor that comes off of the transfers as you're curing them. So that's my only thing. You know, that's my only thing. I'm not saying it's a no. I'm saying just do it safely. That's all. Just do it safely. Heather Lee, hello, hello. Yes, she is, Diana. Yes, she is. Very. She is very special. Can we see the other side of the room? So, Mama Still, you want to see the other side of my room? You ready? Okay, I'm turning. Don't get dizzy. Don't get dizzy. Okay. Okay, we're going. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay. So you see I have my conveyor. And then let me turn you. You're stuck on my crock right now. Hold on. Okay. Turn it. Okay. So this guy here, this is what I typically have when I'm running this conveyor belt. And it's really heavy duty, several layers. So not only is it a fume extractor, but it's also able to extract small particles. So when I was thinking about small particles, oh, TikTok, you can't see that. You can't see that, huh? This is my fume extractor. It kind of leads down to a big box, but it's several layers of filters. And so it wasn't just about the fumes that come off of my conveyor dryer as my transfers are rolling underneath here. That's not the only thing. I also use a lot of adhesive powder, right? And so I wanted something that could remove both small particles and also the fumes of the transfers. That was kind of my goal. Very nice setup. Thank you. You're the best, so informative. You know, I'm just all about providing like what I know, what I've learned via my research. And so like I had a smaller fume extractor when I first started. And the busier I became, I realized, okay, this is not good enough, right? So I even have, let me see, hold on. I even have, oh, this guy here. Let me show you guys. Here's another thing that you can use if you decide that you're going to start doing these things, and I'm talking volume. I'm the first person to tell you can use screen prints. You know, I'm just, I'm not going to just give you some fluff just to sell you some of my transfers. If it doesn't make sense, ultimately, it's about you being able to grow your business. That's my ultimate goal, right? Is for you to be able to take whatever it is that I'm sharing, go out there and say, okay, let me see, what are my customers like? Okay, they like the one colors. Let's go with the screen prints. That's the cheaper option. It makes no sense to buy a direct to film transfer because whether my transfer is one color or if it's 10 colors, it's going to be the same price depending on the size, right? And so that just doesn't make sense when it comes to those one colors. And so I don't want to, you know, I don't want to feed you with that. It's full. It's luckily I really like this new layout a lot. But here's another layer that you can use if you decide to go like with this particular print method, okay? I think it's in here. So you can also use one of these guys, a respirator. Now make sure when you purchase your respirator that it's capable of So there's different ratings for respirators. You want to make sure that it's going to filter the actual vapor that comes off. I still would suggest a fume extractor, but if you want to add on an additional layer of protection, your respirator is the way to go. I am not the biggest fan of my respirator. That's why I went for the Gusto. Wearing this reminds me of when I was in New York. And so for me, I'm like, I'd rather not. So, so that was one of the reasons why I made the investment in having, at that time, I had 2 fume extractors in the room because I didn't have this really large one. This thing works amazing. Okay, it works amazing. There was also a comment made about the following. Hey Arlington, Above Travel Dreams, welcome. That's why I actually love watching you. You're so honest. I just, you know what, there's no point in me like just feeding you anything. I don't see, that doesn't feed me. That doesn't make me feel as if I'm like actually adding value. I want you to really be able to kind of grow your businesses in whatever way. If you're just starting out, I'm gonna give you the real, and you make the decision from there. But yeah, when it comes to like things like what's the best, I typically don't have an answer for that. I give you, you know, my rationale and the things to consider, like food for thought, right? But good evening, how are you? So that was when I made the investment in this large fume extractor. It's, you know, honestly, it's one of the best investments if you're gonna get into direct to film. It's one of the best investments. I had someone ask me about the shaker curing system that's out there. You can also attach your fume extractors to that. You can attach, you know, some sort of exhaust system just to ensure that that stuff is not, you know, the vapors are not just running rampant in whatever space. I don't care if it's a spare bedroom, you still, especially if it's a spare bedroom, for me, that was one of my biggest concerns. So, yeah, you just make sure that you're doing it safely. So yeah, you can totally do a respirator as well. I think in one of the videos, there was a comment made that you don't smell anything. Things that are toxic are not always, you know, very much so like, you know, abrupt or something that you actually may smell. Sometimes they're odorless. Odorless chemicals really do exist. And so that was another thing I wanted to talk about because, yeah, it's kind of shocking too. That person was a registered nurse as well. Makes you wonder, what would Florence Nightingale think? But anyway, but yeah, so those are the things that I wanted to speak to because it was really kind of alarming for me. Yes, I make transfers. Yes, I do them in high volume, but even if I didn't, even when I was just starting out, I still had a fume extractor. Hey, FAO Studio, how are you? Thank you for being live right now. Absolutely. My craft room is a back bedroom in my house, so the fume extractor would be a good idea. Absolutely, Mom of Steel. Absolutely, 100%. I can completely agree with that. Completely. Absolutely. Thank you. Let me see. I need your positivity. I love it. What kind of mask is that in your hand? So this is a respirator that I purchased. And so you want to make sure when you're buying them, make sure you know what type of filter you're going to need for it and what is it capable of actually filtering out. Some of these are not, some of the refill filters, so they come with like little model numbers, right? And so you want to know what is it rated to actually like filter out. If some of them are not good enough to filter just the vapor that's coming off of, or the fumes that come off of those transfers as they're curing. So keep that in mind. Do you recommend a good brand for the extractor? I don't have a particular brand. I have the one that I purchased from Amazon, in my Amazon store. But if you type it in just to the search on Amazon, I mean, you can read through. I'm not saying it's the one that I have is the best. I love the size of it and the fact that it has different stages. Like there's, I want to say 2, 3, 4, it's like 4 or 5 different filters that are in there, and it comes with extras. So I have this one linked in my Amazon store. If it's raining, can transfers be printed? Yes, they can. However, here in California just recently, we had some really, what I would say is torrential rain. I was like, I don't even believe that I'm out here in this. But still, cue the dramatics. But anyway, it was raining, and so typically when it rains, it gets humid here. So I also suggest that you get a dehumidifier. You know, get a dehumidifier that's rated for the size of room that you're in, because that, if you have humidity, you should just shut down shop if you don't have a dehumidifier in your room, because it's going to affect not only how your transfers cure, but it even at some point starts to affect my inks. I can tell the difference in the way that my prints are coming out. So typically on rainy days, I have to run about 2 or 3 prints just to get it all correct. So I pay attention. Oh my God, not 30K. So I pay attention to like how fast I'm running the belt on my conveyor dryer. I pay attention to the heat setting, all those little things. But that comes with just working with your printer and getting to know the different, you know, the differences that can occur. So I already know, in addition to that, you want to have something in your room that monitors the humidity, your temperature. So, you know, immediately when I start experiencing an issue, I look at those things and I'm like, okay, yep, this is giving me a sign that something's going on. Then I have my humidity reader. I look at that and I'm like, okay, humidity's off. That would be the reason, right? And let's adjust. Guess what? Not 30K. Oh my gosh. In part, you guys are showing out. I cannot. That explains a lot. Thank you. You're very welcome. You are very welcome. Let's see here. So my new machine has an oven to cure. Okay, do I still need an extractor? What I would recommend, okay, first on your oven, sometimes what they'll have is like a little round piece at the top. That's typically where you can actually apply either your fume extractor or whatever. Even if it's just, you know, you're routing it through, what are those things called? Oh gosh, it's not tubing, but it's kind of looks like air ducts, but it's not air ducts. Anyway, you can route the fumes out of your curing oven. So if it has that, then you have the capability of either applying a fume extractor or whatever other exhaust method, you know, you're interested in applying. But yeah, you totally can. Let me see. The next live that I go into, I won't be able to tap the screen. I'm done. Is it good when pouring resin? Absolutely. And that's actually one of the reasons why I initially had the respirator. And then I actually wore one when I was in New York as well, because I could like wear it all day long, right? And so that was one of the reasons why I actually purchased this, was because initially I used a lot of resin when I was making like tumblers and water bottles. And so yes, and someone that is very, very well versed in the safety of resin usage, definitely check out Designs by CT. She is all about safety when it comes to resin, to using resin. So yeah, yep. It's a great sacrifice. I can't. That I won't be able to tap the screen. Hey Nicole, how are you? I took over our master bedroom and now we sleep in a small bedroom. Listen, I was on the verge. So right before we actually started looking at commercial spaces, these are all the conversations that we had, Diana. I kid you not. It was how you know, how are we going to do this? Because we knew we needed to add another printer. We didn't have the space. Stuff was pouring out of our room. So then the question became, okay, do we swap rooms? Do we then take the business to the master and we take over this room? Is that a possibility? Do we swap our living room stuff up here and we move this downstairs where there's a larger space? We ran the gamut of like possibilities of what we could do. The only room that was off limits was my daughter's. She made that very clear. I will not be swapping, okay? But it was hilarious just looking at the space now. I can't even believe that I had majority of the stuff I had in that room. Can't even believe it. It's amazing. So I understand that it takes over your home. It really does. Like, it was when we moved everything out, that's when I realized how much space was being occupied by these things. It was crazy. Hey, Teas of Life, Colorful Threads, welcome. How often do you buy ink? So, T-shirt Museum, to answer your question, it really just depends on the quantity that I initially order. If I get, like, let's say for instance, if I do a mix of like 10 whites, maybe I'll do 3 or 4 cyan or whatever, and, you know, mix it up to where I have like about 20 bottles. That will last me at least a month. I would say a month, sometimes a month and a half. But I run through a lot of white ink. I feel like, we were just talking about this, I feel like we can't keep enough of it, to be completely honest with you. So I'm kind of looking at it, and I want to really look at what we've been ordering, like our ordering patterns, so that maybe what we'll do is just place a much larger order, but it will actually last longer. But yeah, I love to do 20 bottles, 10 at least of white, and the remainder, and sometimes I'll do 15 of white and the remainder the colors. I don't have to refill my colors as frequently, even with the 700 milliliters. But the white, I run through it. I do. It looks like you've outgrown that space. So this space, no, I haven't. This is really comfortable, honestly. I have the space to move around. I have all of that, right? I have my curing system over here. The issue is going to come if I add another printer. If I add another printer, I'm thinking it will probably go here, which is where I have my little what do you call this? My mobile desk. I have my little mobile desk here, right? It'd probably have to go here. That's one thing. But yeah, totally. It's one of those things where I have a lot more space. Trust me. If you had seen my space prior to moving here, you would realize what I'm talking about. I'm taking over my bedroom. That's what happens. You're welcome, T-shirt Museum. That is what happens. I kid you not. Let's see. I want to see if I missed anything. Okay, got it all there. Hey, come back. I can't. I was supposed to be taking a nap. So much for this. So much for that. This is good info. I'm glad you enjoy. Listen, I want to talk about it. Like, I want to press this stuff up, but at the same time, I'm like, I want to talk about this because it's bigger than just, it's not one of those things where I don't think anyone that's made a video in reply to it is speaking from a space of feeling threatened by this new process being discovered. I think we're all saying the same thing, which is just make sure that you're doing it safely. And, you know, if there's ever a question of safety, there's other print methods out there that already solve this problem. So I think that's kind of where we're, not 33,000. You guys are showing out. I think I missed it, but other than the obvious, why do you have so many printers? Do you do certain things with one versus the other? No, I don't. I print on all of them, so it's helped increase my productivity. So each printer that I've added I look at it like it's almost like adding an additional set of hands, right? Really, because I'm able to produce more prints. And so that was the really big thing. Now that I'm trying to, and I'm really thinking hard about this one because I'm not sure if I really want to scale it, but I feel like I want to scale the t-shirt portion. But here recently, these inventory issues, I'm tired, and so it makes me like kind of question whether or not I really want to scale. But I do. I think I really do in my heart of hearts. I just don't want the stress of looking for inventory. I think that's really the issue. But if I do that, then I'm gonna have to invest in another printer, because these printers are dedicated to transfers. And so even now when I have print orders, I'm scrambling to get time on the printer. So yeah, that's the biggest reason. I'm at 2 and was thinking about getting a 9890 to convert to sublimation. That's actually a really great idea, and it's something I was talking about a little bit earlier. I've been watching the videos of how to do it, and it seems like it's, honestly, it looks like you're converting for DTF, if I'm being honest, except for you're using sublimation ink and you're not using film, you're using sublimation paper. Right? We are now shooting for 50K. I'm done with you guys. Imperfect crafting data. I cannot. That is hilarious. I love that. Look, my hubby is driving, so I have plenty of time. I'm sorry, hubby. Hubby's probably like, I cannot. Yes, it's crazy. I'm a crafter and I buy fabric, vinyl, embroidery items just to make things for family and friends. I can just imagine how much a small business would need. Yeah, it's really kind of one of those things. Like, even with my adhesive powder, you know, I have to buy it in such large quantities. But the cool thing about that is that it lasts for longer, right? So then I'm not always constantly trying to buy it. And I feel like that's where I'm at when it comes to this ink. So I feel like I need to up what I keep on hand. Yeah, I think that's the issue. My daughter is driving, so I'm tapping. I can't. Inventory is getting better. Where are you located? I may have some resources for you. So I'm in Southern California. And yeah, so if you do, please feel free to message me. I would love to know. I just had tank tops, white tank tops that I needed. I went one day, they were in stock. I'm like, okay, great. You know, emailed the customer, mock-ups, pricing, all that good stuff. The next day after they place their order, I'm going into order inventory, and it was like, where's all the inventory? So I was kind of like scratching my head, and I was like, oh my God, this is what I don't like. I don't like about this part of it is like I have to find the inventory. So yeah, I would love that. Thank you so much though for offering. I would appreciate that. I really, really would. But yeah, I think that's what would probably end up happening if I really decide to kind of commit to scaling the t-shirt portion of the business. I think that's gonna be needed. I think so, because even this last order that I did that we pressed on live, I was scrounging to get the prints because we were printing orders as well. So it was like I felt like I was rushing to get my prints done so that we could continue running the printer, you know. So hello. So at any rate, I appreciate you guys. 33.8. So my next goal on my next live will be 50K. 50K, that's gonna be the goal. But I appreciate you guys so much for joining me this Friday, just for a quick chit chat, you know, but I do plan on coming back in on the next live that we do. We're gonna be printing up some items to test out with DTF and be able to go from there. But we're going to do it on live so that we can talk about it. What works, what doesn't, we're going to talk about that as well. I'll shoot some references. I've been around for a while, established in 1995. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Elliot, that's what I'm talking about. That's inspiring to me. That's amazing. That is amazing. Great as always. Oh, I appreciate that, David. But send me some pictures when you're done with that. And thank you so much, Elliot Graphics. I appreciate that. I really, really do. I'm getting ready to order a lot of t-shirts, but I have to make room in my living room. I'm telling you, I'm getting ready for the holidays. That's what I feel like I need to really, yeah, you will hit your goals. I love that. Thank you, Diana. I appreciate it. So I appreciate all of you for joining me for day 45 of my 100 days of live, which is crazy that it's like, where'd the time go, right? But I've been enjoying it all, so I can't even complain. I can't complain. I've been loving this. But I appreciate you for joining me on this Friday. I know there's a lot of places that you could have been. I get it. And I appreciate you for spending your Friday evening, and it's even later for some of you on the East Coast, with me. So until next time, if you happen to be catching this video on the replay, go ahead and hit that thumbs up if I provided any value. In addition to that, if you want to catch me live, go ahead and turn on your post notifications so that you'll get the notification each time I'm live. But until next time, YouTube, thank you everyone. Diana, T-shirt chick, Nicole, Miss Marissa, who was here earlier. I appreciate you all for hanging in there with me and just bringing your questions. Donna, for making it for day 4. You are here 4 days strong. I love that. Nikitty, please tune in to the next one because I will be showing you how to sublimate these. I'm reading Heaven's Yes Crafts comment, but I'm going to be showing you DTF on other items. But to all of you that have joined in today, I appreciate you so much, and I will see you on the next live. Bye, everyone.